Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Six Rings Kane Show. Joined today by some very special guests. One of the legends here, our very own Alex Donno, is joining us on the show tonight, and of course, my buddy E, as we like to call him, Rasta from Team Miami Flow, and you can see some kick-ass edits that he does as well. You can follow him on Twitter and all that, but we'll get to those things. What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to see you all again. Hope you're all doing great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, E? How are you, man?
Oh man, can't complain, bro. Had a busy week this weekend. It was fun, bro. Got to experience a different vibe down in Coral Gables.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You came down here for battle and for all that stuff, man. So we'll definitely talk a little bit about that, and of course the usual suspects up here, Danny Gillette and Vish. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up? What's up, man?
How we doing?
Good, good. Before we get into anything, actually, the most important news today, as always, is always going to be the most important news. Is good news that we're getting out of the Larry Blue Sea camp. As we got some information that he is off the ventilator. He is now out of ICU as well. I think since Monday. So that is the most important news. Always wishing him love and well wishes, and of course, we will also put up the GoFundMe account in a little bit as well. We'll put it up on the chat so anybody that is watching the show can go ahead and still contribute there.
By the way, I can even add to the good news because I heard an update within the last hour, and I hadn't had a chance to post it in our group chat because I've been running around the house a little bit. But he was actually not only, you're right, he's been off the ventilator for a few days. He's out of ICU. He was actually even sitting up today eating some food, which, bro, I mean, it's like, and again, like everything I've kept hearing, obviously, like I haven't seen him, like, and he's
Right.
not in a position to get visitors and obviously, and the family is getting their privacy, but like it's I've always been told he is fighting. Like it's a long road, but guys, when I heard that he was actually sitting up eating, and then with the last couple days hearing that he's out of the ICU, I know he has a long way to go as far as fighting back from this, but just the positivity, like from being on a ventilator sedated a few days ago, handful of days ago, to now sitting up eating, having conversations, like it's such a blessing, man. Prayer really does work, and prayers are being answered for him every day.
Absolutely. I mean, and I wish he probably was wishing he could be out there at battle with E with Rasta and being. I mean, that's what he does, man. That's what he lives for, And so I'm sure he's fighting, every little inch that he can to get back out there. So we're really excited about that. And of course, he is your better half on the Five Rings podcast. So there too. So I kid you, but it's amazing what he does for this community, for high school football, for the kids that don't get mentioned. Okay, the 1 stars, the 2 stars, the kids that go to small schools that really don't get the hype that a lot of these big time players get. That's what he does, man. He's the best at it. So we're definitely gonna fight to get him a statue over at Traz Power or something within the next couple of years. That would be awesome. But real quick, so really excited about that. Again, there the GoFundMe account is up on the chat as already. So you guys go ahead and any little any little thing helps. So but moving right along, real quick, guys, I'm again excited to have both of you on the show. And a few things before I let out my rant, which some of you may have seen already on the Discord on the Discord yesterday. Because I have a rant, man. I have a rant for the ages, and I'm pissed off. But whatever. We'll get kind of into some of the rumors that are surrounding the program and coaching wise, and I think we've all kind of heard already the rumor of Brian McClendon and BMAC interviewing or being a person of interest for the UGA wide receivers coaching position. Something it's a little more it's got more legs than some others think. But if any of you can kind of give your two cents and how you feel about the whole situation with regards to, which is actually part of my rant, anyways, but which is kind of want to get your take on how you feel about the whole BMAX situation. Is it a rumor that has a lot of legs? Is it something that we shouldn't worry about? What's your thoughts? Of course, we're hearing other names like Hines Ward as well,
Yeah.
being kind of like the front runner for that position, who happens to be at FAU now coaching wide receivers. So we'll start off with you, Donno. What did you think about when you first heard the name BMAC come up for the wide receiver position at Georgia?
Well, my initial reaction, and I'm very curious to hear your rant because I have no idea what direction you're going to go with it. Obviously, anytime you hear rumors of somebody like this linked to Georgia, I have to take it seriously because I know Georgia has deep pockets, endless pockets, and obviously the SEC is attractive. So it concerns me. Like it very much concerns me. But listen, I also I know that BMAC, he's well compensated, I'm sure, at Miami, and he and Cristobal have a great relationship. So, even if he does decide to go, I'm sure he's going to do it in like the most amicable way possible with Cristobal. And yeah, and bigger picture on all this, man. And yeah, to sum it up, it does concern me a little bit. I hope they go with Hines Ward, which would make sense because Hines Ward means a lot more to that Georgia program than BMAC does, right? So I hope they go in a different direction. But yeah, the last couple weeks, it's been interesting following coaching stuff, right? I mean, it goes to show you that you can get a great head coach, and he's built important. He's already building an important staff. He's brought in good people, but there's no easy button for this. Like when you're talking about on pretty short notice trying to build a world class crack staff, of coordinators to go with some very good assistants that are already in place, and the coolest strength coach on planet Earth who's already in place. So you're trying to build the finishing touches on that staff. It's not easy because college football is still very competitive. Like I know that Miami, like last month when all this stuff went down, they became like the flavor of the week, but there are still massive programs out there. Miami can't literally sign every player and every single coach who's on the market. I mean, we've already had all the Jason Candle stuff go down, and I certainly don't blame him because usually you go the opposite way. Usually you go from a Power 5 coordinator job to a Group of 5 head coaching job, not the opposite. And then the Kendall Briles thing was out there. I think he was trying to use Miami more for leverage than anything else. But it's led to some drama, and the last couple weeks have been frustrating because I think every Canes fan wants to know, hey, we got our guy at head coach. He's already recruiting like a madman, which is great. He's hired some really important staff members, but now we need to go out there and hit home runs at coordinator. And I think one of the reasons why Jazz and everybody, that there have just been so many different rumors coming out of every corner is it seems to me like they're doing a pretty decent job keeping these searches quiet. Like I'm sure Cristobal is pretty serious about wanting to plug some leaks, right? So, I mean, I'm sure that once they have everything finalized, including whether BMAC stays or goes, hopefully they do it in the most professional way possible, and they get people in the building that we're going to be happy about. Oh, you're muted.
I muted myself so you won't hear the game in the background, the Canes Virginia Tech game.
Damn it, we can't grab a rebound.
I know, it's unbelievable. Before we even hear your take, kind of tell us, everybody, this is your first time on the show, so tell everybody that's in the chat and who you are, what you do, how they can check you out and stuff, man.
Obviously on Twitter I go by Rasta. I make a lot of the edits for these kids. I'm a recruiting guy. I'm on show with my co-host Dave on the Flow show, on the Flow channel. Every Thursday night. We'll actually have another show tomorrow with Jack Pyburn on. We have a few other guests lined up that were visitors this week. So yeah, if you don't know where to find me, my app's right there. I can come chop it up. We got Discord chats. We got Slack chats. We got chats all over the board, man. So yeah, that's where you can find me, man. Appreciate you having me on too.
Of course, man. Always. Tell me, what do you think about this BMAC rumor, man? What's going on with that?
I mean, anytime because what's funny is I was talking to Max earlier, and what's funny is we didn't have to worry about this with the last class or with the last staff. right? We don't have to worry about nobody coming over to take anybody, and nobody won't know. Maybe it's like quality control guys or something, but not as actual coordinators or anything. So it's funny we haven't really had to worry about that since like Mark Ritt's first year or two there. But anytime you got a coaching vacancy, bro, names are gonna be thrown everywhere. So a lot of times, like I don't just jump in the rumor mill and be like, "Oh man, B Max, he's probably gone." I mean, it's a possibility, regardless. It's his alma mater. He's coached there before. His ties there. But like I was talking to somebody earlier. Does he want to just go there as a wide receiver coach, or is Georgia going to throw him a bunch of titles to kind of like sway him? I mean, you got a whole bunch of different ways, but you know, it's not always about money, right? A lot of people like to say that, but these coaches they want to grow. You got like look at DVD. He eventually wants to become a DC. I've heard him say that, mention that. So he's gonna go not just where the bag is, right? This is what we like to always talk about is the bag, bag, bag. But some guys, Coach B, he might want to be an OC. His next step is co-OC and then possibly become an OC at Miami if the OC leaves or get opportunity elsewhere. I I don't get in the rumor mills, man. Me personally, when I heard that, I was just like, all right, whatever. Just keep it moving. If he goes, whatever, we got to replace him anyways. Whether it's in a week or whether it's in 2-3 years, we got to replace him. So, and there's no other guy I trust to replace another coach than Mario.
It's funny you say that because Max kept saying that too when I was talking to him. He kept saying, "Look, at the end of the day, Mario Cristobal is my head coach," and I went off yesterday. I was like, "Look, I'm sick and tired of this. All right, I'm exhausted. All right, there hasn't been anything that's been fun about college football. The Miami Hurricanes, yeah, we had that little, all right, Mario came and we were all excited, and then now BMAC is getting rumored to leave, and this one's getting rumored to interview, and then the NIL deals of everybody throwing $600 million at all these kids, and I'm so sick and tired of it, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's not even fun. It's not. It's not. It hasn't been fun to me lately because now if it's not one thing, it's another, and it's just like college football has become this business that's kind of just been the wild west, if you ask me, with regards not only to NIL deals, but like, yeah, I know the argument is going to be, well, hey, this is a business, and coaches can leave anytime they want, so players should be able to leave anytime they want, and this and that, and I totally understand that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to go pursue another position if you're getting more money, but look, the bottom line is there's a lack of loyalty, there's a lack of respect, there's a lack of honesty. Okay, there's a lack of passion for the game of football anymore, especially in college football, if you ask me, because there's so much movement. There's so many guys that after 1 year want to transfer out. There's so many coaches that get a job at one school and then another school comes running, and before they could even step foot in the door, they're gone to another place. And I understand certain places, certain coaches, okay, well, you can't, I mean, how are you going to turn down UGA? They just won a national title. How are you going to turn down Bama? How are you going to turn down Ohio State? Yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, when someone throws at me, it's just like a job. It's not just like a job. This is college football. I mean, it's driving me up the wall. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's exhausting when you have so much passion. I know everybody here on this board right now on this show has a lot of passion, but to me, it's just exhausting. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's exhausting. Yes, everybody has a level of loyalty and a level of respect, but to me, it's been diminishing for quite some time now. It's just annoying. It's frustrating. I'm exhausted by the whole situation because doing this show every week, trying to figure out who the hell the damn DC is or who the hell the OC is, or if BMAC is going to leave, are we going to have to go after somebody else? Is DVD going to be a deep end? I mean, it's just like it's constantly. So it's exhausting. That was my rant, really, right? Like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm exhausted by the whole thing. So I can only imagine how the fans feel by it. And Daryl, yes, you said, man, please, Mario did the same thing. Totally understand. Mario got here and couldn't get along with a guy like Al Golden, okay, and took a job at Alabama for much more money and knew that he was going to go there, be able to develop and come back over here. It's blame Saban. Some, yeah. I mean, the bottom line is that this whole situation with everything with college football, there needs to be some more regulations put into place. There needs to be some, if you're gonna throw money at kids like nothing, if you want it to be a business, the NFL has a cap, right? So there should be some sort of regulation in that sense as well. That the Texas A&M can buy their whole entire recruiting, recruiting class. There we go. But then a team like Miami or a team like Florida State, doesn't spend. I mean, there's got to be some sort of level playing field, right?
Yeah, and then as soon as Miami spends a little bit of money, Darren Ravel writes about it as
Right.
if no one else is. Oh my God, guys, no one is doing. Miami's paying players. Oh, no one else is doing this. This is college football. No, everybody else is doing this, and the SEC is paying a lot more than we're paying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, if you go back though, right, but way, way back, go back to the 70s, 80s, players have always been getting incentives, right? That's something that's just been going on for decades.
Right.
It'll never change. It'll never worry, right? And I mean, I understand. I'm fully with you. Like, put a cap on it, right? So, right in the NCAA, hey, the player can get this much stipend, right? But you can do that. But you and I both know Bama's still going to cheat, A&M's still going to cheat. Oklahoma, Ohio, because there's always loopholes, right? We've been doing it for decades. Miami did it. I'm not going to sit here and say we don't. Florida's done it. Like we've all done it. But I think the way they've set back now, me and Flo's talked about this. You're going to have to, right? You're going to eventually have to, because it's going to get nasty. And you're going to have USC's, Houston, Cincinnati, like your big city markets are going to just take over college football. Should be anyways, because you're in the hubs. But these SEC schools are eventually not going to be able to play ball. They're just not. You can call it what you want. I know Bama's got a Rolodex of money. I know A&M's got oil money. So does Texas. So does Baylor. So does TCU. Like all these schools. But you're eventually going to get to the bigger markets, and there's a lot more billionaires, a lot more millionaires, like trillionaires or something. Whatever it may get into. You might even get into like NFL type range where foreign money is involved, right? So it's going to get ridiculous. So I agree. You're definitely going to put a cap on it. But that honestly just puts the cap right back on your schools like Miami, USC, because they're still going to cheat. These country bumpkins, who got 3 teeth in their mouth over here, loophole in the NCAA, they're going to still find a way to cheat at the end of the day because they're untouchable. Bama's been untouchable. Like all these SEC teams, they can do what they want and flash it and say, "Hi, you can't catch me." It's been like that. So right now I'm 100% fine with just let it be the Wild Wild West. Let's see who's got the biggest money. Because go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Nah, you good. Go.
It's always gonna be a slippery slope. And like Donald mentioned, at the end of the day, the minute Miami starts to spend money, all of a sudden now we're doing it wrong and we're doing it legally. But God forbid, somebody else, does it and they turn a blind eye to it. To me, it's hypocrisy, right? That's at its finest, right? I mean, and I hate to say this because I'm a Red Sox fan, but like it's like allowing David Ortiz into the Hall of Fame, but not Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens, right? Like if you know baseball, you know what I'm talking about, right? So like for me, like it's gotta be a little more of a level playing field. I'm venting because I still love the game. I still love college football, but at the end of the day, when you cover it like we all do here, it starts to become a little exhausting when it's it's just. And I'm gonna say it, bullshit after bullshit, right? Like,
but how much of that is doing this show, to be honest? Because like we've been on the same topic.
I know.
Like I feel like your view is so jaded by just not having the coordinators hired more than anything else. It's like, all right, you want to talk about Dorsey for like the 4th week in a row? Let's do that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like I think doing this show does get a little bit grindy when it's like no news.
Yeah.
To me, the BMAC stuff, that's his alma mater. To me, that's when home calls, it's always a little different. And so I can understand, like, he's a Mario guy. I think that might be, just like Mario said, although I don't know if this is actually true, that we were the one job he would have left Oregon for. There's probably other ones, but certainly when we come calling, like, that's the I can't turn this down offer. And that might be the case for BMAC right now. Yeah, obviously they won the championship, so that matters too, but that is his school, and you can never like put a price on that, but he's definitely loyal to Mario. So I don't think this is a situation where he's out fishing for a job, but you know, sometimes stuff happens and home calls you and you have to make that decision, do I go home or not? And he might say no because he's a Mario guy and he's like, no, I'm going with Mario because he's the guy I want to grow my career under. So you got that push and pull on that. But in terms of like the NIL stuff, yeah, it's going to be the Wild West. That's what it is. But like, because it's legalized, essentially paying them to show up. So, yeah. And to Donno's point, I mean, Darren Rovell going to do what he does, right?
Guy's an ass clown. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the overall the thing, right? Like, anytime we do anything, it's a problem.
Right.
Like, so I mean, frankly, I don't give a crap what they say. We have a legal department. In Miami, we're very good at exploiting loopholes in laws. And, you know, these are all running past lawyers before we do anything. So they can chirp all they want about it. This is getting signed off on by the compliance department. We got lawyers looking at it, making sure it's all on the up and up. So we don't have to worry about that.
And we're actually careful, I think, because Miami knows historically they don't get away with as much, right? And yeah, there were times, you know, 80s, early 90s when they were probably a little bit careless because there wasn't a precedent for getting caught. That precedent has been long established. It was established, you know, with the Pell Grant. It was established with Nevin Shapiro. They realized we have to dot every I and cross every T here.
Donno, before we let you go, because I know you got to get on out of here, man. We haven't spoken to you about this in a bit, but if you can give us two names that you want on each side of the ball, an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I don't think we've spoken about it, but we definitely want to kind of get your thoughts on who you think. Who you like and who you want to see as the OC and the DC here.
At this point, I hate everybody. I'm like you. I don't even care who the DC is, but I just know like it sounds like maybe Shamar Stewart wouldn't commit unless he knows who a DC is. So get somebody. As far as an offensive coordinator, I really like the Jason Candle idea, and I hate to be this guy. I'm just going to give you one name. I don't think he's going to end up here. However, it goes back to what you were saying, right? With BMAC at Georgia, with Mario at Miami. If you can give Ken Dorsey that siren song of, you know, coming back here and potentially doing something special, that's obviously my top choice. I think he's going to probably end up either staying in Buffalo to take a promotion because Dayball is going to leave, or maybe he follows Dayball somewhere. But if there is something powerful, and Dorsey's taken weird jobs before. I mean, you know, he took that strange job to be like Pete Garcia's assistant at FIU. Like, well, what was that about? So, I mean, did he want to be in Miami that badly? Maybe he wants to actually be at the University of Miami badly enough to take a job here. So that's honestly, that's number 1 through 10 on my list.
Gotcha. Well, fair enough. Donald, let them know where they can catch you, man, every day.
Yeah, I will be back tomorrow. I had to take a 1-day hiatus today from the Daily Show. I was covering the Eagle FC press conference, a new MMA promotion. But tomorrow, I'll be back on 5 Reasons YouTube. I'm doing an earlier time tomorrow because I got to go to. This is dad life, and I know maybe I know Jazz, you're a dad. I don't know if Rasta man, you're a dad. You guys know. So tomorrow afternoon, I'm doing my show at noon tomorrow, so there will be a show at 2:45. I've got to go to like an interview to try to get my son into a certain preschool that we want to get him into. I'm like, oh Crazy. My God, this is parenting right here. Like I got to like dress up nice and not curse and be polite in this interview tomorrow. So we'll be having the Daily Show tomorrow at noon. You can find it the same place you found this 5 Reasons YouTube channel, Donno Daily, noon tomorrow. We're gonna talk more Dolphins. Now, Jazz, if you think you're tired of talking about Kane's coordinators, I'm tired as well about talking about head coaching candidates for the Dolphins. Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more of that tomorrow, and we're gonna get some betting picks for the conference championship games tomorrow as well.
Nice. Yeah, definitely check that out on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube channel. You got everything on there. So the Canes just won on a buzzer beater.
Awesome.
They beat Miami. They beat Virginia Tech on a buzzer beater. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
missed it. I've got the
I was
game
trying
on.
to keep a straight face. He threw
I
it in
I
from
heard
half
him
court.
screaming.
He threw it in from half
Is that what
court.
he
I
did?
was like, I wasn't gonna say anything because I was trying to keep professional, but I was this close to
man.
jumping up and down on the.
I was being too professional because I got it on the TV
Damn.
behind me, but
I know, I got it
I
here.
was looking at the screen here in front of me.
Yeah, no, they threw Charlie Moore threw it, banked it in from half court.
Wow.
Canes win by 3.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was.
Wow.
Nice.
So there you go.
Donald,
Live update there.
Thanks for joining the show, man. Look, I'm representing over here with the 5 rings.
That's a
shirt
beautiful
on,
shirt.
baby.
I'll talk to you guys later.
You got
Thank
it,
you,
buddy.
Donno.
Thank you.
Real quick before we keep going, Daryl, we appreciate the love the show. By the way, thanks, man. We appreciate it. I know you posted something about his value is beyond a regular wide receiver LC coach. What he brings in recruiting is far beyond. Yeah, and he also mentioned something about not paying him $1 million. Listen, man, I think that right now, again, money is not an issue. So could I see him paying giving him $1 million? Yeah, maybe he's using it as leverage to get a little more money. Who knows? But I kind of want to go away from that because I think listen, Rasta. This is what Rasta does, man. He is one of the best at it when it comes to recruiting for the University of Miami and knowing who the kids are and what they're about and if they're good fits for this program. Biggest recruit. If last weekend was big, right? Which we definitely want to hear about real quick too. I mean, people don't realize how big of a weekend this is going to be down here in Miami, right? We got a lot of big time prospects coming in. I know some people have crystal balled Inez Cooper, who is a guy that can play either side, right? He can play offensive line or defensive line. And there's been some other kids that we've been talking about. Nicholas Ayamaleava. Did I say that right? Ayamaleava. Damn, I said it right. Yeah. All right. And some of the other guys. Rasta, real quick, kind of give me a breakdown about first of all, how battle went, right? How the whole tournament kind of went, what you saw, what you liked, and of course, a little bit about Elite Prospect Day. Kind of give me an idea as to what we saw there and how big that was for the University of Miami.
I mean, battle was everything you expected. You have the top kids all over the country coming to compete, in 707. You had 2 5-star quarterbacks down here. You have 2 2024 quarterbacks from South Florida who are out there throwing. You have some 25 guys out there, some 2025 guys at quarterback. So you got to see a little bit of everything. It was very impressive watching Nico throw that ball. He has like crazy arm angles, man. Like I'm not gonna compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but just the way he can switch and angle his arm, bro, was impressive. And he just flicks it, and it's like out of there. That dude had a phenomenal arm. Dante put a ball and a money to his wide receiver, the kid that's committed to Michigan. That was nasty, bro. It was filthy. I think Ivans or Steve Wiltfong, one of them posted it, bro. It was a beautiful catch across the middle. It was crazy talent, bro. Like getting to see some kids from Michigan, Tennessee, Cali, Tucson, who actually ended up winning it all, which I was like shocked because they didn't look that good on Saturday. So and seeing South Florida Express get knocked off, that was who I thought was gonna walk away with it with all that talent they have on the field. So yeah, battle was everything I expected it to be. It was great to kind of get to see, some of our top kids that we're going after. Cormani McLean, nasty long cornerback from Lakeland, Jalen Brown being Jalen Brown. Brandon Ennis looked really, really good, even though I know a lot of guys don't feel comfortable with him coming to Miami because they feel like he's following Riley, which very well could be. But he looked really impressive out there. Bro, it was just nasty watching all those guys. I can run a whole list off, and just keep talking about every one of them. There's just that many playmakers out there. I slid down to campus for about 4 or 5 hours, just watching kids come and go, talking to them, talking to some of the coaches. Got to talk to Coach Salavea, Coach Smith, and just getting to feel those guys, how they're like in Miami and what they're bringing to the table. And bro, I love it. I love the energy around campus. I mentioned it on Flo's show. We talked about it for a little bit. I'll talk about it again tomorrow on mine. it's just a different vibe down at Coral Gables, man. Like coaching staff has way more energy. They're just it's another level, you
Yeah.
know. Like when you look at that, bro, it's like it's you can understand like why is it so hard for a kid to tell Mario no. The guy is unbelievable. He doesn't just sell to the kids, bro. He's on top of the parents' head. You know, like it's impressive, bro. That
Well,
guy
yeah,
literally.
wasn't there a kid, Aaron Williams, who wanted to commit right on the spot, the 4-star cornerback from Cali, from LA, and
Uh,
he told him, no, I want you to go home, talk to your parents, and if they are with you and you still want to be a Cane, then I'll accept your commitment. Wasn't something along those lines?
so I've heard there was 4 kids that were
Woo.
on commit watch. 3 local, 1 national. Not gonna say names because they may be popping soon. We'll see. Might have one really really soon. Might have one in the next couple of weeks. So I'm not gonna ruin any surprises. I'm not gonna say any names. Not gonna act like I'm an insider. I'm not hiding it. But yes, there was a couple guys who were ready to pop. Mario just families weren't here. You know, they're out with their coaches. You know, visiting campus and stuff like that. There was a kid that was like, "Oh, you want my parents to be here? Hold on," and called him on FaceTime. Was like, "Ready to commit." He was like, "That's not what I meant, but get home, chill out. You know, we'll talk again."
That's pretty awesome.
So Mario's just genuine. You know, he's just a. You could feel like he's being him. It's real. You know, it's authentic. It's not
Right.
just some guy that wants to put on a fake Spanish accent and call himself Latino. You know, so it's a
Not like
different
Brian
vibe.
Kelly, not like Brian Kelly trying to be
Right.
God.
a Bayou man over there.
Right. It's completely from up north. Um, yeah, man. Like watching some of the kids leave, bro. Like it was just different. Like these you used to have to go find kids, right? Like, oh, they're sneaking out the back door. You know, they're trying to hide them going through the back of the IPF. Like they're going out that way. You used to have to like go find them to do an interview or hit them up like, hey, bro, can I get phone interviews? Da da da. So you have all these different ways. And Mario's like, I don't care. Like I'm walking out the front door with this guy. I'm literally taking them to his car. I'm gonna tell the parents goodbye. I'm gonna da 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 da. It was just different, bro. Like it was impressive, just all
Yeah,
around, bro.
I heard, and I know Vish, you got something real quick, but I heard that all the coaches while they were out there talking to parents, talking to all of you guys and stuff, they would actually stop and be like, "Hold on, this kid's coming," and run to that car and go pick him up and welcome his family and welcome him and walk him into the facility, and that's just not something that you heard of when they did other things in previous regimes, right? So like that's huge in my eyes. I love that. I love that about this staff.
Right.
Vish, I knew you had something to say,
True.
Vish.
Yeah, that thing about being genuine matters a ton. Like it's not he does all Mario texts all the boss interns, he works his ass off, right? He hustles, he does all the work, but then you got to be authentic. Kids will know you're full of crap immediately, and more so than like being, trying to check every box of like this, you're perfect in every way. Just being real, like everyone knows Nick Saban's an ass and he acts like one, and that's authentic. Like when they meet with him, they're like, yeah, this guy, that's what he's about, and I can work with that guy, and that guy's gonna elevate my game. When you start trying to fake it, they know immediately.
Oh yeah.
And they knew, and not to, we know who the previous coach was. He was putting on an act a lot of the time, and it's obvious. And you can watch that and
They
be
can
like,
read right
dude,
through it. Yeah.
yeah, and we could see it, and the players can see it, and you know what matters a lot? Parents can see it too, and they don't want to send their kids, right, to go and work for someone that they can't trust. And the one thing with Mario, he's gonna rub some people the wrong way because he's a hard ass, but everyone knows he's genuine. You're getting exactly what he is. You don't have to read between the lines. You don't have to worry that he's like telling you one thing and then gonna do something behind your back, and that matters a lot in terms of. You got to understand for these kids, a lot of them, they're coming from high school. It's their first kind of big life decision. And you not having that comfort of, I know exactly what this guy's about. And maybe you decide that's not for you, right? But it makes it so much easier to commit. Because like, I know exactly what I'm getting into. And that goes a long way. And I think everyone that interacts with him, whether, they end up coming here or not or liking him or not, the one thing they'll never say is that he's faking it, and that's a huge deal.
Ross, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I want to add to that because you brought up the last staff, right? Um, and like I got to actually get a chance and sit in the office with Coach Diaz and recruit, and I've been in there a couple of times with some other staffs, and I have nothing bad. I'm not going to bash them. I'm not that guy. But one thing I know for 100% facts is that this staff isn't going to tell a kid no because he's 5'10", 5'11". He's not a 6'2", 6'3". Like I need this specific. This staff is going out and finding guys that are going to come in and work their tail off. They're going out looking for those dudes that are wanting to be Hurricanes. They want to come on Green Tree and battle and practice. They want to go in the weight room and they're coming to meetings. They're showing up. They're studying hard. They're doing their job, right? They're doing every little detail. I know that for a fact. This last stuff was very particular on guys they wanted to come in. Now, to each his own. However you want to run your team. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's the wrong way or right way. Obviously, things turn out a certain way. But I know for a fact I don't think we're gonna have too many relationships burnt in South Florida with this staff.
And that's huge because the whole cliche of building building a fence around a fence around Miami or the state of Miami and or the tri-county area. Yeah, it's huge, right? Yeah, you still got to recruit everywhere, but it's cute. It's huge in the sense that maybe the guys over at Booker T don't have a player this year, but if you don't build that relationship starting this year, you're not going to get that 23 kid or that 24 kid or that 25 kid, right? That's just the bottom line. Because then, with the way the transferring is in high school football as well, some kids may move from certain school to certain school. And if you haven't built those relationships with all these other schools, forget about it. You're not going to get in there. It's the same thing that applies with, guys outside of the school that are trying to get information or that are trying to talk and build relationships with these coaches. You got to have some respect and you got to be able to build these relationships with them. I mean, that's a great point. You bring up a great point there. I really kind of want to turn the page before we even get to this weekend to the visits that are going on this weekend. I know you got a big show tomorrow, Rasta. You got Jack Pyburn coming on the show. I know we've been talking about a lot of us have been talking about him setting up his commitment date to tomorrow. I don't know if that's still going to happen. I know he's choosing between Auburn and Miami. I heard somewhere, I don't remember where, that he may push it back, his commitment date now. Talk to me a little bit about Pyburn because everybody loves Pyburn and everybody on the chat kind of mentioned him earlier also. Talk to me a little bit about Jack. I know you guys had him on the show a couple weeks ago as well. And he's just one of these kids that he's just, man, that's a Miami kid, right? If there's anything, that's the kind of kid you want here. Talk to me a little bit about him, about how his recruitment is going and what your thoughts are on Jack.
I mean, for one, yeah, he's definitely a fan favorite, man. I think I see him mentioned on every show. He's a good kid, bro. I talk to him almost every day. Just kind of like we have more than just he comes on my show type of relationship. He's a good kid.
Right.
He talks to me about like these visits, and we talk about advice and just different different things that we go about. So he was going to announce tomorrow where he was going, but he got a call, no, not from a coaching staff or a school saying, hey, push your date back. It was more for, they're doing it live on, I believe, CBS Sports.
Gotcha.
And they got asked to move it to February 1st, my bad, the day before National Signing Day. It's between Auburn and Miami. And I've talked to him a few times since his visit to Auburn twice and the all-girls school up north. So, he's torn, bro. I'll be honest with you. Every time I talk to him, it's confusion, bro. Like he legit, if I bring up a point, for Auburn, he brings up a point for Miami. If I bring up a point for Miami, he brings up a point for Auburn. Like he's not just like, oh, well, Auburn's got this, all you're talking about. No, we talk about both. He's legit torn. He has a big tournament this weekend, and he's a state wrestler. This is actually for, I think for him to qualify to get into state. So it's a very big tournament for him. Mario went in home with him yesterday. Talked to him. He said Mario met him at his school and waited around for him to get out of school. And then when they went in home with him at his house for about 2 hours. He said the visit went really, really well. He said Mario did give him an update on the DC. No, not no names, but kind of gave him some information on what's going on. So he's definitely talking to these kids, filling them out, seeing where their minds are. But he talked really, really good. He loves Mario. Mario gets Dan Morgan on the phone with him, and Mario is definitely going to pull his trades, to kind of recruit this kid. He's in on him. So
It's
I don't know where he's going yet.
it's gonna be tough, right? Because obviously he's an Auburn legacy. I think his grandfather played at Auburn and whatnot, and so it's gonna be hard. I love the kid. I hope that he pulls the trigger and commits to Miami. But look, at the end of the day, man, these kids, got to make these decisions that are best for them and best for their future and their career. Do I think that with the type of staff that we're putting together here, could his development and his ceiling just go that much higher? Oh, I mean, without a doubt, like I think the kid could be an All-American type of, edge guy, linebacker, whatever position he wants to play at this point. In the front seven, I think he can be really, really, really good. And to be honest with you, that 44 looked good on the man too. So that will be pretty awesome to see. So we hopefully, obviously, we'll be tuning in tomorrow to that to check that out, and we're really excited about that. And this weekend, right? Big recruiting weekend. A lot of big time names are going to be out there visiting for the weekend. How can we expect? First of all, how can we expect this weekend to go? Talk to me about some of the names that you're hearing that are going to be visiting, and if there's any possibility of us kind of landing a few of those guys this weekend. Who are the bigger names that we should keep an eye out for?
I mean, you can't talk this weekend without not talking about Shamar, right?
Who's that?
I don't know, man. Some 6'6", 295. I mean, he's the headliner, obviously, all the way across the board, right? He's the local kid, the 5-star unsung hero. He's probably the number one on Mario's board. I mean, it's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? And I think if you sign him with the defensive line class we have right now, including the defensive line we have in that locker room, it's just icing, right? Put a little cherry on the top, and sign to deliver. But I heard the whole, if you don't have a DC in place, I'm not committing, or it might be hard, or whatever, man. Listen, unless Shamar comes out and says that himself, bro, I'm not believing whatever these headliners say. I mean, everybody's trying to be the first to say, "Well, I told you so." These beat writers do it every week. So I don't care what they say about him. I think at the end of the day, he ends up a Kane. I know he's committing on National Signing Day, but this is the last visit in home, on the road. Like, Mario gets the last face to face with this guy, right? And I'm almost certain, I could be a little wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'll eat the crow. I think Shamar don't leave that campus until about 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night.
Hell yeah.
I definitely think and if he leaves, Mario probably gonna leave with him. Like, I'm going home with mama. He's just the most important recruit, right? It's not saying the other guys are not. You got guys like Amon Moulton, massive D tackle as well. He took a official visit with his teammate R Mason this weekend to Oklahoma, which impressed both of them. I I don't want to say a package deal, but I'm almost wanting to say that's a package deal. You
R.
get
Mason
one,
Thomas, right? R. Mason Thomas.
R Mason Thomas,
Yep.
yep, and Amon Moulton.
Who, by the
But
way, his brother played. For the University of Miami. For those of you in the chat, Anthony Moulton.
Yep. Which is not pushing him either way. He's sitting back being a good brother, making sure he gives advice and stuff like that. But I think Mario's going to give him just the same amount of attention that, he was Shamar. I'm not saying he's going to leave the campus at 11:59 p.m., but I think
11:58.
Ahmad, right,
11:58.
he'll leave it like with the 9-9 at the end, um, but I think you could possibly get a commitment out of him, which would be nice to add, bro. That dude's very underrated. He's just not a camp guy. I talked to him a lot, and Ahmad just said, bro, I don't want to go to camps. I want to lace my pads up. I want to strap my pads up and lace my helmet and go out and play
Yeah,
ball.
and you know what? And that's something. Look, man, when I was in high school, when I was in, getting recruited and stuff like that, we had certain camps like for baseball, it was like a perfect game and team one and those kind of things in Georgia and all that. And that's great and all, man. But at the end of the day, it's what you do when you got the pad, especially if you're a 6'5" or 6'3", 300-pounder. Like, what the hell are you gonna do playing 7-on-7s or in camp, going up against a guy? Even if it's 1v1 and you're going up against him, you don't have pads. You can't use your leverage. We're using the pads and this, that, and the other. So, like for me, like I love and I totally respect watching film and recruiting guys based off of their game film and how they play the game. Whereas you get some of these guys, like these skill position guys, like don't get me wrong, Brandon Ennis, what I saw the videos of him, what he was doing to cats out there this past weekend with no pads on, you're not gonna catch him with pads on either. So I'm fine with that, right? Like I saw what he was doing. I saw what Nico did throwing darts in pajamas. Like that's
Right.
unbelievable what he was doing, right? And he's gonna be able to do it again. I like to see it with pressure, and obviously we've seen it in film with Nico putting up great numbers, Dante Moore putting up great numbers, Dylan Risk, all these cats that were out there. It's exciting to see. But for me, man, like I respect that when he tells me, "Yo, I'm not going to no camps. Like I want to lace up my pads and I want to hit somebody." And that's how you can really gauge. If you're asking me, if I was a recruiter, that's how I would engage them based off of their camps. Like the camp is crap. Like you can sit there and run a 4.340 straight line speed, and that's great. But can you run in and out of your routes? Can you get separation? Can you throw a guy open? Can you, do those are the type of things that I want to see. I don't want to see it, in 7-on-7. 7-on-7s are great. It's awesome. You can kind of showboat a little bit and kind of show off because you're not really getting too physical. But man, I love that. I love that about those kids. Speaking of wide receivers, go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, just on that point, I think what camp can do is confirm what you've seen on film. If you've got this guy playing in high school against players that are not as good as he's going to play on the college level, and he can't perform, forget it. I don't care what he does in a camp, but I think you can get that. I think where camps are valuable is jumping out on tape, and then you're getting those measurables, and they align. It tells you that whole story about their recruits. I agree with you though. Like you got to start with the game tape. What is this guy doing during the game?
Which
and
I'm sure
then
they
you
do.
can supplement that with the other stuff. But I totally also understand why. I mean, a camp's a beauty pageant. I can understand why some kids are like, I'm not playing that game. You can see what I got on tape. I got options. Look, we're recruiting him. So you can go to Miami, right? Why do I need to go camp? Like, I'm putting it on tape for you. So I respect that decision. I understand why some kids want to go to camp. It does help get them more notoriety they can show. Right. But I also understand if a kid's like, I practice during the week with my team. You see what I do during games. What am I going to do in a camp, to your point, doing drills and stuff? Like, you can come watch me practice, too, at practice. Like, you can see what I'm about. So I can understand both points of view on that.
And I want to add to that, Vish, because you brought up a really good point. Like, you can go out and see at a camp what a kid really does on the football field as well. Like, does the tape match, in person? And I'll tell you what stuck out to me this weekend. You got a guy like Jaylen Brown, right? 5-star. Tape is phenomenal. He's probably got 40 plus offers, right? But I'm sitting here watching this guy get no love, right, on Saturday. Ball wasn't get really thrown to him. They were going the opposite way. Sloppy field, may not want to risk it. You have another quarterback playing, not just Tyler Rompton, right? But watching him, no, I may not get the ball, right? It's 7-on-7. I'm 5-star. I don't have to go out and compete. Watching him still go out and line up against the cornerback and run, go full speed, 100% in and out his breaks, making sure his routes is clean and crisp, and, watching a guy that already has everything he needs, but still showing in a, like, turning, right? Because Saturday wasn't the tournament, it was Sunday. But go through every drill as if he's in a game, like he's in live motion. That stuck out, and stuff like that. Like to your point, I'll look for that at camps. You know, he's not getting the ball. He probably ain't been thrown to 30 times yet, and he's still going out on his 31st rep and running in and out, running a nine route, running a six, right? You running all these other routes, and you're still going 100% on every one of them. That stands out.
That's true. You bring up a great point there. On that is the hustle, the intangibles, the little things that you may not be directly involved in the actual play. And I always revert back to, again, I hate to do it, but I always revert back to my days playing, and how I would recruit, because I used to recruit kids as well. For my summer team, is what are they doing when nobody else is watching? Like when you're running out to the field, are you sprinting out to your position, or are you, eating crap and talking to your boys and chilling? When you're behind the plate, if you're a catcher, are you receiving the ball and throwing it back as if you were in real time? Like those are the type of things that I see. So as recruiting baseball players, so recruiting football players has got. I mean, it's the same thing, right? It correlates, because you want to see how Nico does his dropbacks, right? Like, is he just kind of like lollygagging when he does his dropbacks? Is this guy, like you said, is Jalen running his routes crisp, even though he knows he's not going to get targeted? So in that aspect, I do completely agree 100% with you guys on that. A couple of guys here on the chat, Gary Jones, I love this. In all caps, who the hell is going to be our OC in DC? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not, I don't know.
I'm assuming it'll be a coach with experience of doing some coaching.
It'll be a
I'll
coach.
go, yes, it'll be a coach.
It'll be a coach.
Yeah.
Believe me, man, we're kind of waiting.
I think we're
kind of waiting, so we don't have to talk about all the same stuff again. We're just kind of waiting. We're in a waiting period right now.
Rasta knows who he is.
I just think you might want to be tuned in to Twitter for the next 24, 48 hours.
Woo! Nuggets! Throwing out the nuggets! That's what I'm talking about. I mean, whatever. I'm just an average fan, though, right? I don't know where we get that from. That's awesome, man. Football team going to be fire this year with Van Dyke and the new coach from Oregon. Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
So this one we did sort of keep it together on the show. Jazz reported it. We had a little bit of a little celebration, but, we kept it professional.
Real quick, I guess one more thing. Who is the must-get this weekend if you had to pick one person? And I want to go around the horn on this. I want to go to DJ. I want to go to Vish. I want to go to Rasta. Rasta, we'll start with you. Who's your must-get this weekend? Shamar, huh?
I mean, you got to. If you're trying to come out and stamp that flag in South Florida and say the fence is locked, it's done, you're not coming down here no more, these guys are mine, that you have to get him.
Well, kind of stole the guy I wanted to. DJ, who do you think?
I mean, does anyone have an answer? It's not Shamar, because that was my answer too. Answering those Jazzes, that's got to be DJ.
How about this? You know what? Let's put it this way. Who are some of the skill position guys that are going to be out there this weekend, Rasta? Jayden Brown going to be out there?
Nah, this is strictly 22.
That's right. My bad. 22. You're right.
So we go a skill position, or I'll do it even better. Somebody not Shamar, right? I got you.
Yeah, let's do that. Somebody not named Shamar.
I know what somebody else on the panel will say this name I would, but I'm gonna go different just so I know y'all can say it. I'll go Trevante Citizen, right? So your stable needs to be 5 to 6 deep, right? And right now we're sitting at number 5 with Henry Parrish coming down, right?
Right.
Why not finish your stable with a 4-star phenom out of Louisiana like Trevante Citizen? The guy's a bruiser. He's got speed on him. He's got great vision. He can get in and out of blocks. Like, he can pass block. He can run block. He's a total package as a running back, right? Coming out of high school. Obviously, things to work on. He's not perfect, right? I'm not going to say that. We got 4 running backs right now that probably still need to work on certain things. It happens, bro. Nobody's going to, they're not NFL running backs right now. But if you give me one guy that I'm like, bro, land me this dude, I'm over here cheesing. You gonna finish a stable of 5 to 6 running backs, and it's Trevante Citizen, bro. I'm good.
There,
And it's Coach Smith, big first. Come on,
oh,
bro.
yeah, it's true. This is a great name, by the way. I love it. I love Daryl. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I have his code name, Citizen Kane. I mean, how much more perfect could it be, right? Citizen Kane.
Yeah, bro.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome there. That's who my guy would have been, Palm Coast Kane. I'm gonna say it first before you two say it. It's Josh Connerly, even though you spelled it wrong. It's all right, man. Josh Connerly. I know he's first of all, by the way, speaking of Josh Connerly, because he's up in Seattle, Washington. Talk about recruiting and recruiting your ass off. Cristobal was in Georgia this morning, and then he also visited Rainier Beach High School. Y'all know where Rainier Beach is? Seattle, Washington. So he not only was he in Georgia this morning, he was in Seattle, Washington this afternoon. Now, I mean, come on. Like, seriously, what the hell's going on, right? Like, who the hell does that? You go from one coast all the way to the other in one day? Like
They
this
also saw the number one defensive end in 23 as well.
over there, right? Jaden Wayne, right? Jaden Wayne is over there as well. I mean, for me, it's Josh Connerly. That cements an already strong offensive line class, especially with the addition of Sangapolu today as well, who enrolled the offensive line transfer from Oregon, 6'2" and a quarter, something like that, 344 pounds. If nobody else can anchor the inside of that that line, it's that guy. That's a big dude. Yeah, he went to see Wayne's mom. What about Davis's mom? Anyways, nobody knows about that except Rasta. Yeah, I got to see that. Real quick. Yeah, so Josh Connerly is it for me, man. I mean, he's the top offensive lineman in the country as well over there out of Washington. If we can get that guy to commit, I know he's very interested in Miami, and he will be down here this weekend. If you can get a guy like that to commit from the one side of the country all the way down to the other, that's going to be huge for that offensive line class. Some names that you guys have. DJ, we'll go with you because I don't know if Vish is like the worst at recruiting, so we'll go to DJ first.
I am bringing up the short end. So
he's gonna go with Shamar.
I'll go with Shamar again.
Shamar again.
Can we get 2 Shamars? That is what I'm in on the double Shamars too.
DJ, you covered Big Ten football. Give me a name, brother.
I would have honestly said Shamar as well, but if Miami was able to land another name besides Shamar, Trevante Citizen for me would also be a name to watch. You talk about this Miami staff trying to really make an impact. Kevin Smith, he's got Henry Parrish into the program. I know he's in good standing with a top running back by the name of Mark Fletcher, and so if he can continue that running back pipeline and continue to recruit at a high level, landing somebody like Citizen would be very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
All right. Vish, you going to go with Shamar again? Just say like a Mod Moten or something, or R. Mason Thomas.
I'll go with Moten. Legacy. Let's go Moten.
All right, I'll take it. Real quick before we finish up, Vish or DJ, if you guys could post one more time, Blues GoFundMe. We definitely want to still help him out as he is recovering from COVID in the hospital. As Donno mentioned earlier, he is off of the ventilator out of ICU, and he's also sitting up and eating now. And we know that he's in contact with his wife as well over the phone, so we know he is talking as well. So make sure you guys check that out, that GoFundMe for Blue. Who is a member of the 5 Reasons family and a member of high school football family down here. We all love him and sending our prayers and blessing over.
Yeah, things look like they're going in the right positive direction there. He's still got a long recovery ahead. Absolutely. So I know, money's tight for a lot of people, but anything you can do to help, we'd all appreciate it. Like he's, as Jazz says, part of our 5 Reasons family, and we're obviously thrilled he's getting better, but he's got a long way to go. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to sit in the booth with him again.
I know. I need to get. No one's yelling at me on these streams anymore, man. When I say we got over Manny Diaz of all things, like I've been on so many like podcasts and shows with Blue. We've always been cordial, and they lost on me over firing Manny Diaz.
That was great. You gotta love it. It. Rasta, thank you so much for joining us, man. Everything was awesome. We truly enjoyed it. You know, when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to Canes football, man, we know how much you love it and how great you are at it. So we do appreciate it. And of course, if you're still throwing down edits, man, you got to let us know when you post them. Also, let them know where they can find you and where they can hear you, man, or watch you.
Yeah, definitely, man. I may be dropping one Saturday. We'll kind of see. That might be a
Oh,
we'll see. But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. It's a blessing to come on anybody's show, bro. If you need me anytime, I'm always down. Tomorrow, live on the Spash and Lane show on the Miami Flow channel, on Twitter at Miami Flow Rasta. I will be dropping edits constantly. I've been working on a lot coming out of this weekend. There's kids posting them everywhere. So, yeah, bro, I definitely will. Like I said, I appreciate all of y'all, man.
thank you, man. Appreciate it. We appreciate it for real. DJ, Vish, it's always a pleasure with you guys also. Vish, you
we'll
want
be
to
back next week at this time.
talking about the same thing again? Unless
well, let's look, man. Something's got to give it. One day we're gonna show up and their coaches will have been hired.
It's gonna happen. Rasta already said that we need to focus on Twitter for the next 24 to 48 hours. So I'm gonna take PTO at work, and that's what I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that, man.
I mean, but next week is National Signing Day, the final one.
It is right. Well, February what is it? February 2nd, February 3rd.
Yeah, that's next Wednesday.
Yeah, so with our luck, they'll hire all the coaches and do National Sign Day in the same week, and then we'll have like a 6-hour show.
By the way, yeah. So next weekend, stay tuned. There's gonna be one hell of a show. We're gonna have a lot of guests. We're gonna have a lot of people on because it's only right that we do that for National Signing Day. I mean,
absolutely.
Honestly. So thank you guys for everything. We appreciate it. Make sure you check us out on the YouTube network and also on the 5 Reasons Sports YouTube network. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we love you all, Kings fam. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys.